Well, welcome to another video. In this one I'm going to take you through the exam paper. We're using last year's June 2017 paper just so you've got an up-to-date version of what the paper looks like. Okay, so welcome to my classroom. I'm making this for the students in my school. So the Shakespeare play that they've studied is Macbeth, and the 19th century novel is The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. That's what my students are going to be looking at. The next thing that you'll notice is that there are an hour and 45 minutes for the question. There are two questions, fantastic. One is in section A and the other is in section B, and they both carry the same marks, 30 marks each. What does that mean? Well, obviously I have to split my time equally. What does that mean? Well, that's probably going to mean 50 minutes each, roughly. So I've got 5 minutes to panic, oh my God, I'm in the beginning of the exam, and that leaves me 100 minutes to split between the two questions. Okay, well, what are my exam tactics going to be before I even open the paper? Well, I'm going to think about the author's purposes. Why is each author writing this particular text? So let's use the bottom of the paper to explore that. I'm going to quickly take you through M for Macbeth, JH for Jekyll and Hyde. Okay, if you've watched my videos, you'll know that Shakespeare's purpose in Macbeth is to discourage regicide. He's also exploring the idea of the supernatural. He is also looking at the idea of kingship and trying to train King James on what kind. Why have I put King Sham? It's hard to write and talk at the same time. Kingship. The other thing that I want to focus on is the patriarchal society. Now, it doesn't matter if you haven't studied any of those themes. My point is you are picking the themes that you have seen in your lessons with your teacher. And those are the reasons that Shakespeare has written the play. I could add lots of other reasons which you can find in my videos, but that isn't the point. The point is you're going into the exam knowing these are the four things, whatever they are, that you want to write about. Similarly, with Jekyll and Hyde, you know that you want to write about hypocrisy, and in particular the hypocrisy of middle-class men. Then you know that you want to write about the attitude to science and evolution. You might also know that you want to write about, why have I put number 4? You can see the exam stress is getting to me too, but I'm still calm. Number 3, I want to write about religion, which in this book is always Christianity, and I want to make sure that I'm writing about the idea of evil, what makes us truly evil. You've probably studied the idea of man's dual nature, and if you've been watching my videos you will also know the theme of homosexuality that goes through the novella. And again, it doesn't matter if you haven't studied any of these and your teacher has taught you something different. The point is, before you go in the exam, you've reminded yourself about what sort of features you want to cover. Okay, let's open up the paper and see what it looks like. When you open it up to that first page, you find which texts you are studying. Believe it or not, some students will just pick a random text and not one that they've been studying at all. Well, my students hopefully will realise that they have studied Macbeth and they're going to answer that, and they'll find that on page 4. And they also know that they've studied The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and they know that that's on page 10. So that's where they're going to go first.